Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we've got the clear coat stage on my friend Nick's VS Commodore Switchblade Silver PPG Enviro base 3-coat system for the base coat. That was one of my previous videos, no doubt you've already seen that, but if you haven't, whatever, just watch the clear one. So yeah, I'm going to use the Iwata Lotus Supernova gun here. I'll clear this spray out card down before I forget, as much as anything. And I'm using this gun because it gets the clear down as like the flattest, like less orange peel out of all the guns that I've got. And when you're doing a respray, you've got a bit more of a license to get the clear a little bit flatter, whereas a lot of the time when I'm doing smash work, this gun is actually, it'll get it too flat. Now what I'm going to do though is give him an extra coat of clear to sort of work with. So I don't mind if this first coat is on a bit thin, but because it's going on so flat, I'm confident that I'll get my next couple of coats on nice and wet. This will be a good one, but just to set it up. Set it up with a nice thin layer. Minimal to no sort of orange peel introduced. I think I'll put 3 coats on the roof as well, but just 2 down the sides. You don't need to overdo it. But just on the roof, bonnet and boot lid, I decided to put an extra coat. So this is a 131 clear, but with the slow hardener. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes in between this coat and the next coat. I sort of had the idea, what am I going to do? Am I going to flick the camera off and then do like an edited video, put it into the video editor? But then I thought, no, you know what? We'll keep it raw, baby. What we're going to do is, you're going to follow me the whole way. You can either watch or not. You can do the editing. That was actually where the idea for this channel came from, right? I was like, it was a Friday, the footy was on in the winter, I was over there in Perth, I still remember, and I had an epiphany. I'm just like, they can do it. That was my idea. I'm like, they can do it. They do the editing, right? I'll just put the footage up, and you watch it if you want, and you don't if you don't. I guess it's like my own, I came up with a paint podcast, the idea of a paint podcast, so to speak, before people were even doing podcasts. Now being that it's a slow hardener, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry, but in saying that, like I've actually found with some specific paint lines, the slow and medium hardeners can actually dry better, right? It's sort of counterintuitive, but sometimes the fast hardeners, they'll flash off really fast, but then they'll actually stay gummy for a lot longer. Whereas the slow, like they'll gas out slower, but then they'll get to that properly hard point faster, if that makes sense. What we might do is we'll put our extra coat on the boot lid now, and I reckon we're only going to need that extra coat on the top. So we'll do that. Now the spoiler is carbon fibre, so we're not painting that. You may notice I put the pressure down a little bit just to help it flow. Looking good. I'm happy with that. So that's probably like 26 psi. going to do, I'm going to give it a few minutes to flash, right? And then I'm going to give it a short bake in between the second and third coat. Because we're putting the 3 coats on, I don't want to trap solvents in there by putting 3 coats on too fast. It's looking nice. Pretty much the orange seal or the finish that I was looking for anyway. I heated the clear up too. It's not a cold morning, but I checked the temperature and it was 21 degrees, the clear coat was, so I put it in the microwave to get it up to 30. That's going to help it flow, but it's also going to help it flash off because it's already hot. Looking clean too, man. That's like you could, on a normal car, I'd just leave it like that. It looks too good to mess with. But because it's my friend's car and we've spoken about it, it's probably what I would do on my car, depending on how much I cared about it, I guess. But yeah, like he cares about his car, so I probably would put the extra coat on too. Now I don't want to go and hit that with too high of a temp too soon, so we want to let that flash off before yeah, we're still rolling. Yeah, we want to let that flash off before I go and hit that with heat. And even when I do hit it with heat, I'll probably go 50 degrees, right? I reckon we give it 5 minutes. And then we'll, yeah, hit it for, yeah, give it 5 minutes, then hit it for 5 minutes at 50 degrees. You know what? Come to think of it, that's going to waste too much of your time. I can't think of stuff to talk about for 15 minutes because it takes about another 5 minutes for the cool down cycle and then the wind back up cycle. So I'll see you guys back here in about 15 minutes, guys. Rightio guys, back to it. So I've said in the past, sometimes I just make shit up as I go. I changed it to 4 minutes. I did it like, I looked at it again, I'm like, man, it's like too good to mess with nearly. So I didn't want to bake it for too long and make it so I have to put more coats on, like more than one extra coat on. Because what can happen if it's too dry, then one coat's not enough to fill up the little bits of overspray. But I really do want to just put this last one coat on. If that makes sense, it may not, I know what I mean. I guess that's the main thing. Yeah, I was like 50-50 on him, like, man, I'm tempted to just leave it. But then I'm like, nah, I promised him I was going to put an extra coat on, so I better. It's really clean too. Better than the last one I had to paint for him. His bloody WRX. Candy over flake respray. So yeah, that's the guy. This is his other car. Looking awesome, man. I did notice there was like one silicon spot or fisheye. It started flowing out a little bit already. I'll give it a few minutes and see how it looks. I might even need a bit more clear, you know. I will. So I mixed up 1 litre already. These Iwatas, man, they use a lot. They do use a lot of clear. May as well put a second coat on that. Why not? So what are we going to have to mix? I reckon like maybe 200 mils. Shaken, not stirred. I've been listening to Donald Trump a lot lately because, well, as of recording this video, he's just been sworn into office in America. Bloody hell, man, I've never felt this so excited for the future. One thing the left wing does very good is destroy stuff. And they destroy people's hopes. They cut things down. They take your money. They steal off everybody. Oh, but they're the compassionate ones. We've got to remember that. Now, you know what I've realised, man? It's all passive aggression. It's a female trait. And I honestly think it's a side effect of allowing women into politics. I know, I've done deep dives on all this political stuff, and I've come to conclusions which are so far outside of politically correct opinions, but I reckon it's true, man. Like, if you analyse it, and think about it, women are more people-oriented, right? So, you know, identity, they bring identity into politics. 20 years ago, man, it was like, when I was young, sort of even 20, 30 years ago, identity was, or even 10 years ago, man, it's like, no, identity politics is bad. Now it is rampant and it is everywhere, and I think it is a direct consequence of allowing women into politics. Like, politics should be build the roads, fund the schools, make the, you know, whatever, like the basic elements to help us build a good society on, like the foundations, right? The rest of it should stay out of politics, you know? It doesn't mean that there's no place for it in society. Identity can have a place, but I don't think it belongs in politics, right? So, like, I'm not wrong on that. Anyway, I'm not here for a political rant, but yeah, I could talk for hours on that because I listen to a lot of it. It's just an interest. It's a pastime of mine. I think I picked it up off my parents. Like, they're very political, but they're politically left wing, and I strayed from the path, so to speak. And yeah, they don't particularly like me for it, but in saying that, we've always maintained a relationship with both of my parents, you know, both very far left wing. I would say far left. They would say I'm far right, but whatever. Who cares? I don't think I am. I just think I'm common sense. What was common sense 20 years ago is far right today. Looking really good, man. I'm really happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is just let that gas out for a bit, right? I'm going to give it even 20 minutes, and even when I bake it, man, I'm just going to give it 50 degrees, no more than 50 degrees. It doesn't need it. I have sort of made a rule in this shop now. I don't want you polishing my paint the same day. Don't go and open that paint when it's too fresh. So what's that? 1.2 litres on 2 panels. You might say it's excessive. I say it's awesome. And to be honest, a lot of that paint is sort of oversprayed. With this gun, it's just it's the price you pay for getting these dead flat finishes. You're going to get a bit of overspray, right? Well, and to be completely honest, it's not dead flat. Like, there is some sort of a texture in it, but it's very minimal. Like, that's pretty much the best you're going to get. From my experience over the years, you're not going to get much better than that off the gun anyway. Man, that's really, really good. I love that 136 clear. That is so clean. Prep work was on point. I'm glad that I didn't have to wet the bonnet because I sanded it all. But man, that is killer. I'm really, really, really happy with that. How's that? Clear coat close up, baby. Let's just marvel over the brilliance. So that's LVC 136 clear coat with a 255 hardener and no thinner. This clear doesn't require a thinner. So is it 255? I think it is. Yeah, 255. 255 hardener. 254 is the standard, 255 is the slow. That's killer clean, man. Really, really good finish. I'll just give you another look at that spray gun, because it's, man, I can't believe I was nearly going to sell that gun. I'll never sell that gun. I will never sell it. Maybe for like $2.5 grand I'll think about it. Man, I was actually talking to the guy that was going to buy it, Mitchell Griffin. This is the dragon that we were talking about. Like, you chase the dragon, but in saying that, there's 1 or 2 imperfections, but not much at all, man. There's like a nip there and a little bit of silicone there. Man, that is so good. Rightio guys, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.